A very good afternoon, respected resource person for this session, Dr. Juhi Deshmukh ma'am, and dear participants. Today, for this session, we have a very esteemed resource person, Dr. Juhi Deshmukh, who is working at Department of Psychology, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Ma'am has completed MA in Psychology with a clinical psychology specialization, PhD in clinical psychology. As I told, she is working as at the Department of Psychology, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Prior to this, she has also worked at International College for Girls, Jaipur, and St. Wilfred PG College, Jaipur also. Her specializations include neuropsychology, cognitive psychology, positive psychology, psychological testing, clinical psychology. Ma'am has authored several research papers in the national and international journals and have worked on several research projects in the field of cognitive psychology, neuropsychology, and positive psychology. She is a member and counselor, Pre-Litigation Council, Maharashtra High Court. She is also the member of Center and Forensic Science Laboratory, Technical and Evaluation Committee, Government of India. She has conducted several workshops, faculty development programs related to the positive psychology in various refresher courses, orientation courses, and faculty development programs. She has conducted various workshops for various corporate offices, government departments, and educational institutes. Such a eminent personality we are having as today's resource person. I request Juhi ma'am to start her session on cognizance of mental health. Ma'am, please.
A very good morning to everyone. And first of all, I would really like to thank Abhijit Yadav sir for always calling me for the various programs that you all have been organizing. And I really feel that it's a pleasure that we all speak about mental health quite frequently now. Especially, I think I was listening to the earlier speaker and I realized that you all have been talking something very heavy.
Yes.
Something very technical. And just after that, I hope this session is not a very difficult session, or I'll try to keep the session very light and interactive. But it's really a privilege. Thank you so much, sir. And I would also like to thank the organization for running in such lovely programs. Abhijit sir, can I start with the screen show?
Yes,
if I'm allowed to.
Sure. Yes, ma'am. You can share the screen. This PPT is visible.
Yeah, I'll just move the slides. I think the network is little slow.
What you can do one thing, ma'am.
Yeah.
You turn off video for some time.
Yes, that's what I'll do. I'll switch off the camera so that the other
yes,
things.
now it's visible. Now it's clearly visible. Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Yeah. You put it on a slideshow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please tell me if it is visible.
Yes.
Yeah. Is the slide set visible to everyone?
Yes, it is visible, but not it. Yes, it's fine. Now it is okay, ma'am. Please.
Can you see the slides moving, sir?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So, yeah, once again, thank you so much. And I think this is a very important time where we all should be talking about mental health. And I'll be really happy entire session wherever you wish to communicate. There is no compulsion that you have to wait till the end of the session to ask any question. Wherever you feel like talking and discussing, please unmute yourself and ask whatever you want. Though Abhijit sir has given a very elaborative introduction, but still, please consider me as a fellow friend coming from a different field of mental health. And I'm just here to share my views with all of you as friends. And wherever you all feel that there's something you all need to ask, or you all agree or disagree with me, please feel absolutely comfortable to unmute yourself and ask. If there is anything which the language, with wherever there is a language barrier, if you want me to tell the same thing in Marathi or Hindi, even that should be okay. Please let me know. And so before I begin with the session and we talk about the cognizance of mental health, uh, see, when we say cognizance of mental health at any times is very important. That is why mental health is important and why at all we should be talking about it. But then there are certain questions I would like to ask everyone about, like what we would be talking and what we would be discussing in next 2 hours. So can anybody or any one of you, like, or rather 2 3 4 5 of you, if you can just tell me what do you feel or how do you interpret mental health, and how do you think it is important, not important, or like how do you judge its importance? So can anybody unmute and tell me what do they know about mental health, that what is mental health?
Participants can
Hello.
unmute themselves. Please, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Piyush, you have unmuted. You unmute yourself. You have muted yourself.
Hello, ma'am. It's about
Yes.
our emotional, psychological, and social state of our uh, thought process.
Yes, absolutely. Our emotional, social, and yeah, absolutely. That is a very important part, that
Yes,
how
yes.
we emotionally are in a state, how do we react socially, or how are we there, how do we behave in a social setup? Absolutely. That's basically the result of our mental health. Absolutely right, sir. Anybody else? I can see, I think there is a network issue. Everybody take some time to unmute and say. So you can, yeah. Anybody else who wants to answer that? Okay, what I'll do is I'll turn my question a little simple. Rather than asking about mental health, I would just like to ask that anybody in last how many days, if like suppose say in a year, has it happened that any time any one of you felt little low, agitated, irritated, or in a distressed mood, or worried or apprehensive, and this stayed for a week at least for everyone, for that there was a week or 2 3 4 5 days where you were feeling low, or you were irritated, or there was worry, or there was tension, or there was stress related to something? Has anybody experienced this? You can
Yes,
just
ma'am.
say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, yes. Anybody else? So there are 2 3 people who felt the same. Is there anyone else who experienced this? Everybody else was okay. Nobody experienced anger, stress, difficulty, anything. Okay. Now, suppose if I say that any time, I understand that probably unmuting and muting is a task somewhere. But so I presume that any time, see what happens in general life is whenever we are unwell physically, or whenever we are not able to cope physically, we are absolutely okay with it, and we try and in generally go and seek for help for it. For example, if I feel that my hand has, I met an accident and my hand is not working well. There's a lot of swelling. I'll go and see a doctor, and if a doctor ties a plaster, I'm absolutely comfortable wearing a plaster, coming back home and taking care of my hand for another 21, 30 days where the doctor has asked me to take rest. Now let me flip the situation. I'm more than sure people could unmute or not unmute, but I'm very sure there are times in our lives where we feel low, where we are not 100% functional, where our moods are not very much okay. There may be bouts of anger, irritation, helplessness, or any other difficulty. But in general, the mindset what we have is कि okay अभी है वो ठीक हो जाएगा, it will be fine, it will be okay in some time, or probably we just pull on the time with it and try to bear it or take that on our bodies. But we in general do not want to go and seek help for it. And over the top, if at all somebody is having depression, anxiety, anger, somebody, there are a lot of people who come to me and tell me I feel that I have a lot of anger issues, or I'm very much short tempered. So I generally ask them, okay, you feel you're short tempered, do you feel there's a problem you face because of your short temper? So they say, yes, I feel there is a lot of problem which I experience. But then you have been experiencing problems because of it, you have anger, you know about it. Have you ever thought that I can do, you should do something about it? No, important thing. And there is where you do not wish to work. Suppose there are 2-3 days where I am just not interested in going to work. If I tell you tomorrow that, okay, probably you're too exhausted, there have been so many demands that have been placed on you, there are so many things that you have to accomplish at home, at office, and your mind is not in a state to bear with it, take a rest of a week. Take a week's gap, rest at home, just do things that make you happy, and then come back to work. If I say this to all of you, is there anybody who will be able to do it? Generally, if I say 1 week rest or 1 week vacation or 1 week span only for your mind, hardly people will accept it. And this is what is the issue. When we talk about health, we only take the purview of physical health, and the importance of mental health somewhere lies at the back. We are in a state where physical health is given importance, and if not given importance, at least we think about it. So if I tell you, you all go for morning walks and all, or do some kind of exercise or something, people will say, yes, yes, we do it. And at least if we don't do it, we feel bad that, okay, if we have been eating junk, not exercising, then at least we'll have a guilt, okay, that I should do exercise or I should go out and practice this. Howsoever, if at all we are, if we are not taking care of our physical health, if we are like feeling low, if we are stressed, and still if we are not taking care of our mental health, not giving us times, we are absolutely okay with it. But always remember, when we talk about health, and especially now, I feel after COVID-19, I very seriously feel that COVID-19 must not have affected all the people physically. But I think all my friends will agree that it has affected all of us mentally somewhere, with that fear, with that pressure. Shall we go out or not go out? Wear mask, washing hands, taking care of kids, taking care of elderly, taking care of selves, and then seeing so many people who were close to us just going like that. So there has been a lot of pressure, and what it has told us, that entire lives we pay importance to so many things, but just not our mental health. We are so occupied in everything that for us we are the last priority. So I want to tell this thing that now when we talk about this, please think of holistic health. Your I'm not saying your physical health is not important. Your physical health is important, but so is your mental health. So is the health of your mind. Your jobs, your academics, or your whatever you all are doing, they're just part of your life. They're not your complete life. Your mind is important. Your family is important. Your kids are important. So if there is any reason you're avoiding anything out of it, you are bound to stay in stress. And not all the times we are aware of that stress that stays there with us, but it shows in different ways. I'll just talk about it. But what do I want to infer right now is, when we talk about health, from next time, please take into consideration that like your physical health, your mental health is also an important phenomenon. Now, what are the challenges to the psychological well-being or mental health? What leads to mental health challenges? So I would like to ask this to everyone, and I request if you all can unmute yourself and tell me, what are the things as academicians, as teachers, as parents, as children, you or yourself, we all play different roles, right? If I play, I'm a teacher also, I'm a daughter also, I'm a mother also, I'm a wife also, I'm a friend. There's so many roles we all play. So you all play different roles. What are the kind of stresses that you all experience? Can you please tell me? Abhijit sir, can the participants unmute
Yes,
themselves?
yes.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Nivedita ma'am, your voice is not clear. Nivedita ma'am,
Hello.
please repeat it.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Please tell me.
Ma'am, working under pressure of higher authority, time limitation, so many works, etc.
Absolutely. Very well said, sir. Working under the authority, sometimes not able to meet challenges, so many roles given to us. And then it is always expected out of teachers that everything should be done at the best. Yes, of course, it will all push you to stress. Absolutely. Anybody else, anything other than this? Ma'am, you were audible. You were not clearly audible. I think somebody wanted to say something, but they're not clearly audible. Anybody else? Anything? Any stress? If you will talk, it will be really
Hello.
happy. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hello. Basically, the feeling guilty because of not giving time to your children due to the hectic schedule which we have.
Yes, very well said, ma'am. I think I can absolutely understand, relate, and that's true. That as mothers, you feel guilty that when you're working, sometimes during their examination, sometimes when they're unwell, sometimes when they really want you to be around, you feel guilty that you are not
Yes,
able to give your 100%. Absolutely right.
that is the main
Absolutely.
stress.
Yes, and I think that equally goes to the fathers as well. I think that's an understatement. Lot many number of times that even only the mothers feel guilty. It's the same case with fathers as well. They want to give time. Probably the expression is little less, but the fathers also feel bad, or where they also feel that at times they're not able to pay that much attention, or they're not able to spend some quality time. So that can also be a possibility. Any other stressor that you all experience and feel?
Ma'am, not only that,
Huh.
we have a pressure of like at our office work also.
Yeah.
We have to upgrade ourselves, so that pressure is also there. And
Absolutely.
handling all these things,
Yeah.
it becomes a lot
Juggling
of.
between all the things becomes very difficult. Very, very true. So I think that these are all the stressors which are there. So I will pinpoint little more things that I feel also pressurize us. You know, in general, when we feel that there are stressors, we feel there are major important stressors are work related stress, then stress related to children and family, then stress related to the small little things. There's stressors related to your personal performance somewhere, that you want to upgrade something you really want to do, you want to devote time to your health concerns. Then sometimes it's, for us, we become the last priority. Everything else is important and you keep themselves last. Lot many workshops which I do specifically for females, I often ask them, when was the last time you made something or you cooked something that you like? And most of them are giggling that they don't know last time when did they cook for themselves something they like. So the last priority. Lot of times I ask the fathers and males when I run programs only for them, then when was the last time you only shopped for yourself? that this month's salary 10, 15, 10,000, 5,000, I'll just spend for myself. I'll not plan for the house bills, EMIs, children, their fee and everything. So these are, this prioritization of everything else than ourselves, lot many things they put us to stress and challenges. Then there are body image issues, that with age the body changing, there are changes that happens, reducing calcium levels, in changes in B12, vitamin D changes happening in body, and they all give impact on our body. And always remember, they are the reasons why physically also we have a lot of body image issues. So these also result in stress. And what happens is, all the times when stress is there, not necessary that stress will showcase or stress will be visible to you, or you'll be able to understand that you are under stress. There are lot many other ways which you should be which you should understand, that these are the ways in which stress can show on yourself, on your body or on your mind. You're not, sometimes you'll not be able to focus, you may get angry very easily, or you're constantly juggling between work, there are difficulties in sleep, you cry very easily, you get worried very easily, you feel tired very easily. Another very important thing, suddenly when there is high stress, your appetite changes. Either we eat too much, or either we don't eat at all, or eat very less amount of food. So they are all the parameters in which the stress is shown in our general day-to-day life basis. Next very important thing is, when we have stress, always remember that your body is also experiencing the same thing. So it may give you frequent headaches, sometimes a lump in the throat or something, neck and shoulder pain or something. So that can happen. A heavy chest, a stomach upset, tight muscles. They're all the correlates of stress that happen in the body. So always remember, when we talk about stress, stress isn't something which you'll always understand. आपको हमेशा नहीं लगेगा कि अरे मुझे stress हो रहा है, या आपको mentally हमेशा feel होना चाहिए, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. Stress has its way to show. So constantly these things are happening. Please pay attention that your body and your mind is stressed. And the mental health, which we have always been given the back seat in our lives, is also important, or is important, and it needs to be taken care of. In my understanding as a teacher, as an academician, I feel that I think most of the things you all said, what are the challenges for teachers? I think I would really like to talk about them first. First is lower job satisfaction. Why lower job satisfaction? There's so many things given to teachers, when in general it has been presumed that the teacher has to teach, prepare notes, go and give lectures. Other things that come in the package are continuously keeping yourself upgraded with the things, admin related jobs, then jobs related to examination work, then various inspections, then related to NCC, NSS and every different thing. Then other than this also jobs and challenges which are thrown at us. And what happens now, we have that limited amount of power in us that gets distributed everywhere. So we do not get that pleasure of working, or that satisfaction of working from one side, and it ultimately leads to lower job satisfaction. Constantly people feel, okay, I'm not able to do justice in teaching, I'm not able to do justice in family, I'm not able to do justice in a specific work, and all that comes together and gives us a lower job satisfaction. Next important thing is too many demands. As I said, there's so much that is being demanded. And always remember, I want to tell this to all my friends, that see, when we want to talk about stressors, you are that one person in your, it's not that you have a clone who goes to the office and the other clone stays at home. Your stress at work is always gonna spill in your family, and your stress in the family will always spill at work. Of course, we try and do the balance, we try and do the switch on and off, but we are human beings. And it's very important to understand that it can happen. हम इंसान हैं और ये हो सकता है और ये होता है. So there are too many demands. Demand as a mother, demand as a sister, demand as a teacher, demand at the time of examination, demands at the time of finishing the curriculum or something. Various demands are being placed, and these demands are physical also and mental also. So there are a lot of demands which continuously push people to stress. Next is leadership and support. What kind of leadership we have? If you have a good leader right up there who's always there to back you, help you, support you, take the charge, guide everybody in the right direction, support you, is the one who understands your problem. When you do well, they reinforce you, they pat your back when the good work is done, everything is okay. But if the leadership is challenging, if the leadership is inadequate, then again job stress or other stresses are going to increase. And next, I think specifically for people in academics, powerless on the system which is working. So we may feel that there are certain policies, certain things which are not up to the mark, which are not required, or we want to change the way in which certain things are working, but we absolutely have no power over that system. One teacher, even if they want to change or say or voice the opinions, it will not be heard. And all these things may lead to stress. I'm not saying that these are the stresses everybody has, but one plus, one minus, one thing extra, one thing low, some stress are higher, some stress are lower, but in fluctuations, these stressors do happen and they are there in everybody's life. But then what to do? Are we gonna, now this is our choice. I always say this to everyone that whenever there are stressful conditions, we have two choices: either to stay with the condition in which we are, constantly stay stressed, worried, anxious, irritated, angry, or to change everything. Because if constantly stress says, we have seen during the COVID, I think that was the best example. It could, like, I think everybody of best learning we can take from COVID, that people who during COVID were very much stressed, who were worried, they were the ones who lost the battle very soon, or they were the ones in which the COVID, even the impact of COVID was very harsh. This means what? Your immunity is badly affected when you are under stress. So when we are stressed, our immunity is challenged, our mind is challenged, so does our body is challenged. So it's our choice. How do we want to deal with it? Do we see everything and every situation will not be able to change? What can we change? We can change ourselves. We can change our perception of the situation. We can change the way we think. We can change the way in which we are going to accept or not accept these situations. This is what is there in our hands. So it's very, very important to change and alter something in your own selves than changing the world. And how can it be done? How can I take care of my mind? How can I take care of my psychological well-being or my mental health? So what we'll do, I always say, if you have a cupboard which is full, can you put new clothes into it? No. So what do we have to do if we have to put new clothes into the cupboard? Remove the old ones and then put the new ones. So already there are a lot many negative things which are there in our minds, or stressors, I would say, on already in our mind. We'll remove them and then we'll keep the new ones. So before I go to how to take care of your mental health, what is there that you can remove? We will talk about that, and then we'll go to the positives. So let's just remove a few negatives and add the positives. So once we remove the old, we create the space for new. So we all have to free our minds, and free our minds from what? Guilt. First important thing. So I think ma'am also said that so many of you will always say that we feel guilty. So first thing that you have to tell yourself is, why constantly feel guilty? Always tell yourself, be compassionate for yourself. Please tell yourself that I am doing the best I can. When as human beings, we are bound to falter. We are human beings. We cannot be everywhere and we cannot do everything perfectly. Every mother, every father, they try and put their best for the child, and the work they are doing, the energy in which they are slogging and toiling, it's all for the kids. It's all for the family. So anytime when you feel guilty, tell yourself that you are doing it's okay to feel guilty at times, but then tell yourself that, okay, I'm feeling guilty today. Howsoever, I do a lot. I manage a lot of things for my family. I cannot be perfect. If you have a child who's 10, 12, 15 years old, you are also a 10, 12, 15-year-old parent. You were not born as a parent. Same goes as a teacher. Same goes as a person who's working. So we have to remove that guilt. How to remove that guilt? That also we'll speak about. But first that should go is that guilt. And you have to tell yourself that even though there are times, can I please request everyone to mute their mics?
हम नहीं बोले थे हैं, मैम को आवाज चली जाएगी, रिकॉर्ड कर लेंगी ना, छूना मत, रिकॉर्ड कर लेंगी, उधर से गालियां भेजेंगे देख के।
Sir, I think somebody's mic is on. Can you please mute that? So we have to remove that guilt, which is very important. Next is excuses. What happens is in day-to-day lives, whenever things are difficult and challenging, we also have developed a lot of excuses. Excuses for not exercising, excuses for not doing meditation, excuses for not reading at times. So it's always not the situation. Sometimes we also have developed certain excuses and we procrastinate everything. We prolong everything. So we have to identify in ourselves, is this a genuine thing or I'm taking this as an excuse? This has to be understood. Anxiety, constantly feeling anxious, constantly getting worried over small things, that has to be taken, that we have to remove. We don't have to feel anxious constantly. How do we do all that? That also I'll talk about, but I'm just mentioning what are the things that should not be not worthy of keeping in our mind. Overthinking, constantly thinking. You know, I always say, and this is what is the fact, that in general, if we have one negative thought, it's not that one negative thought. So one simple thing, say suppose it was your child's exam and you had to come to work because there was some important inspection that was happening. So overthinking is, okay, it was my child's exam, I could not pay attention, I'm not a good mother or I'm not a good father. It's always there with me. If my child, if nothing good happens, it probably is because of me. I'm not good anywhere. And you know, the thought started that basically on that day of exam, you were not there. But are you not there throughout the time? We do not question this to ourselves. We do not see the flip side, that is the positive side of the situation. We only see the negative side, and this leads to overthinking. We call it rumination. And always remember, negative thoughts, they don't stop at one. There are a lot of people who come and say that probably I have challenged that my English is not that good. I am in academics and my English is not good. So I said, okay, English अच्छा नहीं है आपका, पर आप जो subject पढ़ाते हैं वो तो अच्छा है ना. What's the problem? So no, there's a problem. My English is not good. I cannot speak like others. Probably I'll not be able to do good research. Probably I cannot impress a lot of people. Probably I think it is not that effective. And the ultimate thing is, I think I'm not worthy of this. And when this comes constantly, people put lot of their confidence go very low. And why does it go low? Because of one single situation in which probably they feel they were not so good at English. So overthinking, that can lead to problems. Next, very, very important problem is pleasing others. We really want everybody around us to be happy with us, to be satisfied with us. And always remember, this is not possible. You cannot always keep people happy. Yes, you should try not disturb anyone, try to bring smile on people's face. But if you constantly put others before you, it is gonna end up in problems. I've seen a lot of people who come to me, like females, who say, okay, because I work, I feel I should cook all 4-course meal at home and then come to office. Why? Can you not do it on the holidays? Can you not do it on the Sundays? Why do so every day? No, because people will not like it. What about you? Can you invest that much amount of time? Or probably somebody has given me this extra job in advertising. I'm already full. There's a lot of work I already have. I don't have any bandwidth to do other work, but then okay, let it be. We have very good relations. So I think it's not good to say no. Why? If it's a good relationship, it is good. Is it affected only with this work or not? This call has to be taken. Yes. The way in which you say yes or no, that you have to monitor, you have to check. but not constantly. You can't do everything to please people. And very important thing, negative self-talk. That when we constantly talk negative about ourselves, I'm not good at this, I'm not a good mother, I cannot do this, I'm not a good father, or I'm not able to teach this subject well, or I get angry very easily, I am not good in doing this, I'm not able to perform well. So constantly when you talk negatively about yourself, this is something that becomes a strong learning in your brain, because you're constantly telling yourself. Remember, when you tell your brain, lift that pencil and write, your brain copies that. You say, okay, lift that cup of tea and drink tea. Your brain copies that. If I tell you, close your eyes, everyone, please close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, your brain hears and it says, copies that, copy that. So once now you say that I'm not worthy of this, the brain will say, copy that, you're not worthy. I'm not good at probably one particular subject, the brain will say, copy that. And eventually the brain will develop a resistance to learn that particular subject. So negative self-talk is very, very hazardous. That should not be done. Now, what are the good things? What are the positives that can be added, or what we can do to make our lives a little better, or ensure our mental health? First, very important thing is validate your emotions. So what is validating your emotions? From a very young age, we are always being told that we can always experience positive emotions. You can be happy, you can be surprised, you can be cooperative, you can be excited, but you cannot be jealous. You cannot be angry. You cannot be frustrated. You can never compare. Why? Positive and negative emotions are all part of us. The way we have our positive emotions, the same way we have our negative set of emotions too, or not so positive emotions as well. The first important thing is, whenever you experience a negative emotion, validate it. What is validation? Accepting. I get angry very soon. Accept it. Yes, this happens. I get angry very soon. I get frustrated very soon. Accept that. Once you accept, or suppose say, I cry very often, I'm very emotional, I'm too sensitive, I'm affected. And people say it negatively, it's too sensitive. What's the harm in being sensitive? In the world where people are trying to kill one another, in the world where people are trying to take advantage of one another, it's a blessing to be sensitive. That's okay. What's the harm? So tell yourself, first validate that yes, I am angry, I am feeling annoyed, or I am very sensitive, or I get irritated very soon. The moment you accept it is there when you come in terms with that emotion. आप उसको accept कर लेते हैं. Lot of people, when they say I get angry very easily, or I get irritated very easily, or I feel frustrated very easily, I really want to ask them, what is it? Is it actually anger or frustration? Is it so that somebody has insulted you and you feel belittled? Do you feel unloved? Do you feel that you're not taken care of? So, or when you feel, do you feel neglected? Do you feel that somebody has insulted you? All of this is not anger. इस सब का आउटकम गुस्सा हो सकता है, पर ये गुस्सा नहीं है. जब आप अपने अग्रेशन, किसी भी डिफिकल्ट इमोशन को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, तो आप रीजन भी करते हैं. Then you reason that, is this really anger? No, this is not anger. Somebody has said something very rude to me, something which was very mean. Somebody has said, and I'm feeling sad. And now because I'm feeling sad, my body has a defense. And defense में मेरा body क्या करता है? गुस्सा. And this is how I develop a firewall against me. This is a general mechanism. This is how we see. And I'll tell you another important thing. See, what happens is, our brains know they're hardwired for negatives. I don't know you all understand hardwired for negative emotion. Like brain में एक wiring होती है हर emotion के हर चीज की. Our brains are really hardwired for negatives. I'll give you an example for this. Suppose say you have gone for a picnic. You have gone for a picnic to a lovely resort. Now, you enjoyed the entire day. You had a very good time. You slept at the night, and next day morning, you open the door of your resort room, and outside There's a beautiful garden which is there, and there's a beautiful water stream and waterfall which is flowing by, and this side there is a huge lion which is roaring at you. What will you react to first? Will you see the waterfall? Nobody will see the waterfall. Everybody will see the roaring lion. Why? Because we are hardwired for that fear, instinct of survival that is there in all of us. And that's why the reaction first is fear. People will fly away from that, or fight or fly away. So what happens? We are hardwired for that fear, negative emotion. And as in comparison to the positive ones. So life में भी क्या हो गया है ना, इतने सारे challenges और difficulties हैं आज के time में कि हमारी life में अच्छा क्या है ये हम देखना ही रह जाता है हमको. And most of the times when all these negatives happen, your brain shuts down and it doesn't validate any negative emotion. So the first thing that everybody has to do the moment you are experiencing a bad emotion, it can be anger, it can be frustration, it can be sadness, it can be jealousy. You can absolutely feel that, but then how you express it is more important. जब आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है और आप खुद को बताएंगे नहीं शायद मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा है इस समय, आई एम नॉट इन अ गुड मूड, आप अपने आप वॉचफुल हो जाएंगे आप क्या बोल रहे हैं उसमें. यू विल बी योरसेल्फ वॉचफुल इन सेइंग anything. You'll not say something harsh to people because you have acknowledged, you understood, you have accepted, you have validated that you're angry. So the first thing is validate your emotion. And it's okay to feel angry, annoyed, negative, whatever at times. And always remember, you're not the only person who has it. Everybody feels angry. Everybody feels frustrated. Everybody has their good and bad days. You're not the only one who's doing so. When we were born, we have signed no contract with God that life is going to be the bed of roses. सब कुछ एकदम perfect होगा. ऐसा किसी ने कोई पैक्ट साइन किया है क्या भगवान से कि हम हर चीज में परफेक्ट होंगे, सब चीजें एकदम अच्छी करेंगे, अच्छे पेरेंट्स बनेंगे, बेस्ट टीचर बनेंगे, बेस्ट एकेडमिशियन बनेंगे, बेस्ट रिसर्चर बनेंगे, बेस्ट सन इन लॉ, बेस्ट डॉटर इन लॉ, बेस्ट डॉटर, बेस्ट सन, ऐसा कुछ साइन करके आए? नहीं. वी ऑल कैन फॉल्टर. किसी दिनों पे हम बहुत अच्छे होंगे, किसी दिनों पे हमारा काम खराब होगा. सिंपल. Everywhere. As a mother also, some days I'll perform very good and some days I'll be a very bad mother. It's okay. What's the harm? But because we do not accept, because we do not validate, we constantly stay in stress. Next very important thing is coping effectively. Now what is coping? Managing with the stress is called coping. अब ना जब stress होता है ना, stress से दो रास्ते जाते हैं. From stress, there is one way which goes to more huge abundance of stress, and the other way goes to lesser amount of stress, reduced stress. And the way you cope, the way you adapt, the way you try and deal with it helps you or helps decide that whether you go to more stress or less stress. So how do you cope with the challenging situations or negative problems? The first important thing is knowing your trigger points. Now you may have a doubt, what is a trigger point? Trigger point is any factor जिसकी वजह से आपको stress induce होता है. आप सोच के चलिए किससे होता है. ऐसा होता है क्या कि हमको काम 1 2 3 कोई भी काम ना ऑफिस में मेरे पास एक ही दिन नहीं आता. It's not that it's not a case that you get all the work in a single day. You get in the entire 15 days, 20 days span, there is one work, then second, third, fourth. But what happens in general, we procrastinate. We don't do it. Delay abhi karenge, kal, parson, tarson. And after 4, 5, 7, 10 days, there's huge amount of work. And then that's your trigger point. That lot of work is there, lesser amount of time is there. Now the stress is there. Trigger point. It may be so that a lot of people, especially in females, if you do not have food around, say from 12 to 1:30, your body is going to react to it because the glucose levels generally fluctuate for all the people, but even more in females because of the hormones which are very changing rapidly, and on the monthly basis they change, and that's bound to happen. So when you don't eat in time, that can be a trigger point for someone. Then for somebody, the trigger point is when somebody insults them. For somebody, the trigger point can be when somebody challenges them. For somebody, there can be a trigger point when they feel that they're unloved. So they all are the factors in which people may feel affected, or they may feel that they're experiencing stress. So that is a huge chance or huge situation where people experience that kind of stressor. So you need to know your trigger point. What is causing you stress? Once we understand what is causing stress, what is causing the problem, then we are in a situation to deal with it in an effective manner. So first is know your trigger point. Because once you know your trigger point, don't let the situation go to a phase जहां आपका trigger point तक situation आ जाए. काम इतने procrastinate उस हद तक मत कीजिए कि जब आप बहुत ज्यादा stressful state में आ जाएंगे. या you feel that somebody is very much offensive, somebody talks to you in a bad manner and you know that that's a trigger point, you will feel angry. You have to tell yourself that probably when people behave like this person is behaving this way, I will feel angry, it is okay. So probably what I'll do, either I very effectively and very nicely tell this to the other person that please can you choose to say the same thing in some other set of words, or probably I move out of the situation. पर ये सब कब होगा? जब आपको अपना ट्रिगर पॉइंट पता चलेगा. 90% of the people who say that they feel angry very soon, they don't even know what's that trigger point. किस चीज से गुस्सा आता है उन्हें ये पता ही नहीं है. आप उनसे पूछेंगे नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है किसी भी बात पे. So you need to know. Take charge of your mind. The way you have a charge of your body, you also need to have a charge of your mind. So know your trigger point. Next is come out of the autopilot mode of thoughts. I said this before also. Thinking, negative thinking, it's not that one thought. These thoughts multiply. 2, 4, somebody said something to me. They're always like this. They keep on insulting. No matter what I do, they'll never be happy from me. I don't want to be in this relationship only. I don't want to see these people only. It's so bad. And it keeps on multiplying. It may be a small instance that, okay, you're probably a chai mein chini zyada hai. And you can multiply on and on and on and on and on. So, in general, whenever you have a lot of thoughts, it's very important to come out of that or take a charge of your thoughts. जब एक thought आपको लगता है negative आ रहा है, control that one thought. Tell yourself, no, it's not the way. And another best way is to come out of the autopilot mode of thoughts is rewire your thoughts. Change your thoughts. How do you change your thoughts? It's a simple trick. One negative thought, flip it with 3 positive thoughts. So, first thing what you will do is whenever you have a negative thought, you will tell yourself, stop. I'm not going to think this way. So consider this as a situation in which you are watching your favorite film. Or suppose आपको अपना एक favorite film है, आपको fiction का बहुत पसंद है, and you really like the climax of the film where the end is very, very interesting. Somebody comes and talks to you at that time, what will you say? Hey, wait, 2 minutes. Let me see, wait for 2 minutes. Let me see the end. While end बघू दे जरा. Once I see the end, probably then I will talk to you. The same thing you'll have to tell your mind. Stop this thought. I don't like this thought. When the constant thought comes, okay, I'm not good at XYZ thing. Or probably this one set of this amount of work I'll never be able to do. This is putting me in a lot of stress and irritation. What will you tell your mind? Stop. I don't want to think like this. And what do you like to tell yourself that time? Flip that one negative thought with 3 positives. So for example, there's a very challenging work that is given to you and you're constantly telling your brain, I'll not be able to do, kitna sara kaam hai, how will it finish, when will it finish, how will I able to do? So the positive things you'll tell yourself, I have been in similar situations. I've done this work before. And even if not, this is my time. I'm a competent person. Probably this is a challenging situation. I can talk to others about it. Next time, or this is too much or overwhelming for me. But for now, I'm sure I can handle it. Tell yourself, your brain will say, copy that. Please remember this. Anything you tell your brain, the brain will just say, copy that. It's important. Next important thing is any time when the times are challenging, one day at a time. Do not think about the entire situation, entire year or whatever. Life is too short to think of all those things. Take one day at a time. I am not able to I'm not able to teach this one thing very effectively, or probably I'm not able to put my 100% into one situation, or it may be probably any financial stress. It may be any academic stress, financial stress also. Are all days similar? No. One day, today, आज का दिन क्या कल और होगा, फिर अच्छा होगा. Eventually the things will be okay. So take one day at a time whenever there are challenging situations. And next very important thing is try and do something new. It is very, very important. It is very, very effective when you try and do new things. So always have that, creative pause in your life. Do something that you have never done before. Every time, try playing a game, trying painting, dancing, any sport, cooking, whatever you have not done before, you know. When you are into an act, and which is not related to academics, please. It should not be related to the subject or field you already are in, or not even the hobby you already have. Something different from that. Something that you have not done before. Your brain feels fresh, new, some new thing to learn. It can be dancing, it can be Zumba, it can be yoga, it can be anything, anything, swimming, simple things. But it has to be there. These all things, they help you cope effectively. Another very important thing is, you know, be thankful for what we have. I always say this to people that when you make a balance sheet, can you make a balance sheet while only entering the debits? No. When I'm supposed to create a balance sheet, I need to add the part of debits and I also need to add the credits. It's very important. हमको अगर क्या गया है इसका एंट्री करना है तो हमें क्या मिला है इसका एंट्री भी हमको ही करना है. So whenever you are working in that direction and with that intention, do not ignore your strengths. You have to think what good you all have. What are the best things that are there in your life? It is very important for everyone. So when you take care of that, when you ensure that, life becomes very comfortable and better. So simple example, if I ask you all to do, can you all just, if everybody can do it, if possible for everyone, do you all have a pen and paper with you, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So
No, ma'am.
yeah, somebody said no.
Yes, we have no problem.
You have, okay, no problem. Okay, so please, I just have a request to everyone. All of you just take few minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, close your eyes and think of 5 very good things that are there in your life. Any 5 things. It can be any 5 things that are very good or you're really grateful in your life about. It can be a person, it can be a situation, it can be a place, it can be anything. And please write those 5 things you're really happy about in your life. Any 5 things. I'll just take a minute. You all can pause and think. Has everybody written? Can anyone share if they've written something? Would anybody like to share?
Hello.
Yes, Piyush. Okay, ma'am. I think he has again muted.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so I hope everybody must have listened and everybody could write about, if you would have discussed, then probably we would have discussed something else, but then it's okay. But see,
Hello.
now,
Am
yes,
I
ma'am.
audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible.
I would like to share the 5 good things about.
Great. Please tell, ma'am.
The first one is I have a lovely family.
Yeah,
I have a good and caring friends. I
Yeah.
enjoying my job in a good organization.
yeah,
I can spend some time for me. So
yeah.
these are the some good things I find
Lovely.
out.
Beautiful, absolutely. So good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If somebody else also would like to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
My college place, my
Yeah,
friends, my
yeah,
family members, uh,
yeah,
and my subject physics, and
yeah.
my kids, my son and daughter.
Lovely, beautiful. Anybody else? Okay, so see, once you write these things, once you mention what are the things in your life you're thankful about, we really have to think when was the last time when we went to them and said thank you. So I may go home, cuddle my child, love them, tell them, okay, this is good, that is good, or you're loved. But have I ever went and said thank you to them? Now, thank you that you make my life so beautiful. Thank you to the parents that you have loved us unconditionally. Every time I always say, teachers, when I say, when people, we cleared our net set examinations or PhD, and when we got the job, that was the best possible time of our lives. And suddenly what has happened that this job, which we always wanted, has become granted for us now. I don't sometimes don't like the college, I don't like the people. Oh, what nonsense. Every day there's something or the else in this job. Do this, do that. And suddenly, one thing that we always aspired for, something we were really happy for, वो एक job तो पता नहीं कितने बच्चों ने masters करके करना चाहा होगा और नहीं कर पाए होंगे. But we are the lucky ones that we are sitting here and working. Now suddenly it has all gone accepted and granted. The reason is we often forget to say our thank yous. And why? How will it help us? When you say thank you, you tell your brain, no, I have so many things. I may have 20 challenges, but I have 200 strengths. I have 200 things for which I should be thankful about. As a person in the mental health field, I see this very often and I tell this to people. Anybody who feels their lives are not good, they should closely see a mental hospital. They should closely see a jail. They should go and see a hospital. You know, this is a job in which I will say I have a blessing that I go and see these fronts in life. When we go to a mental hospital, there are small little children who are being taken in by their parents. There are 20, 22-year-old children who are being carried by their parents who are who are aged, because these children are having mental health issues. When we go to the hospitals, we see in the diabetic ward, a few days back only, I was there and we were working on some research. So I could see small little children who had juvenile diabetes. A child who was hardly 8 years old, just because he had 2 spoons of ice cream a day before, that child's sugar level was very high and that 8-year-old child was given insulin. When we go to the jail, again the situation is very bad. Small little kids, those whose mothers have committed some crime. What bad that small child has done to be there in the jail? We are really blessed if every day in the morning the sun shines over our head. There are places in the world where the sun doesn't come every day. We are blessed if we have fresh oxygen to breathe. We are free and we are liberated. We have an environment where we can talk about mental health. Look back there in Afghanistan, what is happening? There's so much to be thankful about. And when you think of what is there for which you should be thankful, your brain start circulating all the happy hormones. Why we should be thankful? Let me not talk only the philosophical part of it. What is the technical and biological part of it, factual part of it, practical part of it? When you are happy, when you feel grateful, your brain secretes all the happy hormones, endorphins. I don't have to say what do they do to the body. I think most of the people come from sciences. It helps your heart. It helps your stomach. It helps your sleep cycle. It makes your body better. It gives you stronger immune systems. It's very, very important for your mental and physical health to be grateful. It's very, very important. So daily, every day, find some way of feeling grateful. Simple thing, either when you're going to the bed, think about best 5 things that happen in the entire day. Trust me, you'll have a good sleep. Keep a small gratitude jar in your house over the dining table. Ask every member in the family that every day, by the end of the day, write what was the best thing in the day today and put that in the jar. And when you will see, trust me, after 15 days, 10 days, when you'll see the jar filled, you will see, oh, my life has so many things to be thankful for and so many things which are good. It is important. So please, expressing or feeling gratefulness or having gratitude, it surely will help you. Of that anxiety, of that overthinking, of that aggression, it will help. Next very important thing is to be mindful. What is the meaning of mindful or being mindful or mindfulness? Mindful basically means when I live in present. I constantly don't think of what has happened in the past and what will happen tomorrow. We are so occupied in the entire day thinking of so many things. I generally ask people that if I ask you how many thoughts come in our mind in a day, there are almost 7 to 12,000 thoughts that come in our mind in a day. If I ask you that, okay, write all the thoughts that came in your mind in last 2 hours, last 4 hours, will you be able to write? None of us. Nobody of us can write all the thoughts that came in our mind, and that is what is mindfulness means. That we are so busy that subconsciously हमारी brain में क्या thought आता है, क्या जाता है, हमें पता नहीं, हम constantly thinking में रहते हैं. अभी भी बहुत सारा टाइम लोगों का आगे जा रहा होगा, किसी को लग रहा है सेशन खत्म कब होगा, किसी को लगा क्लास के लिए कब जाएंगे, किसी को लगा और कुछ कब होने वाला है. Somebody will be worried about the certificate, somebody for the class, somebody for something else. You are here. You have been asked to be here. Why not be present and listen to what's happening? In other situations also, why not be mindful and be present in what is there around you? Constantly thinking of what has to happen and what has happened is not going to change. So mindfulness is very important. Next very important thing is self-compassion, being compassionate for yourself. What does it mean? How can you do it? I always tell people that suppose say, give me a second, there's something happen in the background.
I am checking, ma'am. Just a moment. Some participant maybe.
Yeah. No, something at my end only. Some helicopter was passing by. So there was a lot of noise. Yeah. So what is self-compassion? How do we, why do we talk about self-compassion? If I tell you that suppose your best friend has come to you and they tell you that, okay, I feel too low. I'm not able to deal with all the stress that is there. I have so much work to do, so many things given to me, and I have to go back home and take care of things at home as well. I'm not able to manage. What will you tell them? Oh God, what, it's too much. You'll never be able to handle. This will be always conflicting. You'll always be bad at work also, and you'll always be bad at your home also. You'll never become a good employee. You'll never become a good father, good mother. Always be bad, that bad. Do we say this? Do we say like this? No. We'll tell our best friend, don't worry. It's okay. Chill, yaar. No worries. Okay. हर समय नहीं होता इतना काम. It is there. Don't worry. You will be better. You'll be fine tomorrow. Don't worry. You're taking too much of pressure. Don't give yourself too much of pressure. You're doing very well. You're doing very well. You're doing good. Don't worry. If you can say this to your best friend when they are worried, why can't you tell this to yourself when you are worried? No worries. I'm doing good. I have so many challenges. Still, I'm working. I have to rush back to work. I have to come here, work, manage things. Still, I cook for my kids. Still I love them, still I take care of them, still I keep a clean house. Still I love everyone around, still I can talk, chit chat. I can come back to work, do good work. I can manage things. Yes, it is challenging at times, but still I'm able to do that. And in out of 30 days, on 25 days, I'm very good. 20 days, I'm very good. It's okay if I'm average on 5 days and poor on 5 days. What's the big deal? Have that self-compassion for yourself. हर जगह perfect हम नहीं हो सकते, and it's okay. There's no meaning of perfection. There is no end of comparison. Compare yourself to yourself. Am I better than yesterday? Will I be good tomorrow? That should be the comparison. Somebody has published 40 papers, none of my business. I have published 2 last year. Shall I publish 3 this year, or minimum 2 this year? This should be the idea. Somebody is able to do everything. I'm very honestly, this is an honest confession to all my friends. You know, it happens with me. I'm pathetic with drawing and craft. I'm just horrible. I cannot draw a single flower straight, a single leaf, a single petal. I cannot draw. So whenever my son comes to me and tells me, Mama, we have a project to do, it's a nightmare for me. And then thanks to WhatsApp these days, all the parents group on WhatsApp, the entire school at WhatsApp, I don't know why it happens, but then okay, every mother is putting in, like they're pasting and putting all the pictures on WhatsApp group of beautiful projects that we made. And when I look at their project and my project, I said, oh God, this is a disaster, because it is a disaster. But then I tell myself it's okay. I am not very good at it. I'm good at different things. I'm one person who will understand my child far better when they are in crisis. I'm an absolutely chilled mother. I never talk to my child that you have to study this much, or you have to become that and this, or you should sit with maths for 1 hour every day. No, so it's okay. I'm better there. I may cook something better. Tell yourself, what do you do better? Don't constantly pull yourself down. Don't constantly have that negative self-talk. Be compassionate for yourself. Nobody is perfect. Nobody, trust me, nobody is perfect. I tell this to you out of my professional experiences. The people you look at, they may have their set of challenges. जिन लोगों को देख के आपको लगता है अरे वाह ये कितना अच्छा कर रहे हैं, उनके अपने challenges होंगे और हैं. आपके अपने हैं. Notice how are you working, notice what is your struggle and how can you do better at it. Don't constantly judge and evaluate yourself. That is very important. So from today onwards, all my friends are going to deal with themselves like they have dealt with their best friends. Give yourself time. Be okay with yourself. Take yourself a little easy. Tell yourself, no, you're doing a good job. Well done. You're managing it very well. Things have been challenging, but still you have sailed through, and you will in the future as well. That's important. Constantly telling yourself what's not good is not going to work. And next, very important thing, compassion for others. I think it is required now more than any other time. I think because of this whole pandemic situation, we have seen devastations everywhere. People have lost their people have lost their health. The times have been really like extreme crisis, financial crisis, emotional crisis. Your students are also going to come up with the same mindsets. You have to be compassionate. You know, we all were facing the same storm, but we were not sailing in the same boats. किसी के लिए पूरे पैंडेमिक में स्ट्रगल सिर्फ इतना था कि उसके पसंद की चीजें नहीं मिल रही थी, उसको हॉलिडे जाना नहीं मिल रहा था, या ट्रैवल बैन था, या शॉपिंग नहीं हो पा रही थी, और किसी के लिए स्ट्रगल सबसे ज्यादा ये था कि उसे 2 टाइम का खाना कैसे मिलेगा. And you know, we work in a profession like academics where we have a spectrum where the students are you know, there's a big spread. There are students who come from very weaker sections to the students who come from very affluent sides. And as a teacher, I see everybody as same. They're all the same for me. I have to be compassionate at all the ends. And not just there, at home also. Stop scolding your children for not doing anything, overusing mobile phones. What do these poor kids do? At that age, they have been forced to sit in house for an entire 1 year. Think about the pity, young, small little kids. The ones who are there in 10th and 12th standards, colleges. Life has been really tough and challenging for them. Set them free for some time. Please be compassionate to the elderly. They have been living in fear. I hope I'm not the next one to get affected with COVID and go. It should not happen. My health is not fine. Be compassionate. They may get irritable, stubborn, repetitive. It may happen. You have to be the bigger person at that time. And why? Not only for them, but for yourself also, constantly into that stress. Again, lot of all, negative hormones in the body, constant stressors in the body, affecting the heart, affecting the immune system, giving BP, giving blood pressure, giving diabetes, giving other different heart ailments. This is what is a result of constant stress. So please be compassionate for yourself and for the others around you as well. This is important. Next, very important thing is resilience. Only the ones who stand with the time, who mold and adapt themselves with the time, are the ones who are going to change, are the ones who are going to survive. Resilience is very important, When you are in a difficult situation and you alter yourself, change yourself with the changing times, only then you become better. So learn from your mistakes, how you have to adapt, how you have to become better. Understanding and acceptance of our strengths and weaknesses. I'm good at that, I'm bad at that, or I'm not better, I'm not so good in this thing. So probably I should focus more on my strengths and worry less about my weaknesses and work on my weaknesses as well. Self-control. Willingness to overcome the difficulties rather than avoiding them. I'm not good at a particular thing. It can be a subject, it can be a language, it can be a particular behavior. I get impulsive very soon. This cannot always be an escape. आपके लाइफ में हम 80 साल के होने तक impulsive ही रहेंगे. Can I, why others only feel that? Explain, validate that yes, I get agitated, irritated soon. Why it happens? Know your trigger point and then try and change it. That is effective. Be optimistic. Understand your emotions. Try and solve problems and always set realistic goals, something which is really possible. So these are the things which will help you fetch that resilience with which you'll be able to deal with the outside world. Because I think the entire 1.5 year we have been talking about vaccines. So yes, I hope like most of my friends are vaccinated physically with COVID. Is there any vaccine which talks about psychological well-being? So like with COVID-19, your Covishield or your other vaccines, it's not 100% vaccine, the same as psychological vaccine. I'm not saying it will always keep you out of mental health troubles, but yes, it will make you comparatively immune to the stresses. It will make you comparatively stronger to face the challenges. And what is that? We call this as being permalicious. What is that? Having that perma thing in you. What is perma? First is positive emotions. Validate negative emotions and try and incorporate positive emotions in you. Happiness, helpfulness, joy, taking pleasure into small little things, enjoying small little things, having that creative pause in lives. That is important. Next is engagement. Engagement not only in the television screen, mobile screen, some other form of engagement where you do something which is out of your daily chores. That is important. Being there in positive relationships that make you smile, in which you feel happy, with whom you have very good time. Have a lot of positive emotion. Spend time with them. Meaning, having meaning in life. What do I want to be? Do I enjoy? What do I enjoy? What is that gives me real happiness? Is it teaching? Is it that extracurricular work? Is that good time with the family? For every person, this is different. Know what is the thing that gives you that release of pressure valve. Think about it. That's important. And then accomplishments. I said before also, constantly we have been talking about what we cannot do. When will we talk about what we can do? So pat your back when you accomplish something, and it can be very small little thing also. I pat my back when the morning the schedule is very tight. I have to rush back to work. I know in the entire day I have 2-3 lectures. I may have a session to take. I may have a research work. And in the morning, if my son tells me that you have to make fried rice today for me, and if I am able to make that fried rice in time, I pat myself. I tell myself, yes, it's an accomplishment. I'll tell you a small episode. I remember one day, so why I'm telling you is this, you don't need big badges. You don't need big research papers, big things and big agendas coming up. They, of course, they're important, but even smaller accomplishments are also important. I'll tell you how. There was one day before this whole COVID thing, my son was going to school. Right in the morning, we were all standing at the bus stop, and he sat in the bus. So what happens is the bus comes at our building, it stops there. All the children they sit in the bus, and the bus goes to other two buildings which are after our society. It goes there, pick the kids there, and after 7 minutes it comes again to the next building, and which is the next building to us. It comes and stops there again. So the moment my son, he sat inside the bus, immediately after sitting, he said, "Oh, I just forgot. Today we have the cookery club, and the cookery club we have to make bhel. So I've forgotten all the stuff. Can you bring it?" And I got a shock of my life. Now in 7 minutes, how will I get all the stuff of bhel? I know all my friends.
Examination परत ते विचार करतील कोणती एक्झाम काहीच नाही फक्त त्यांना कळलं पाहिजे की एक्झाम
I hope. Yeah. Okay. So basically, I went back home. I picked up all the stuff that was available with me. One of two friends of mine, they got the stuff that they had. I ran to the bus, and by the time the bus came, in 7-8 minutes, I handed over all the stuff to my son. And he said, the moment I handed over it to him, he said, "Oh, thank you. And my mama is the best mama in the world." This is a small thing. This is not a big thing. He wanted some stuff. I could quickly go get the stuff and give it to him. But that was an accomplishment for me. Why that's a small accomplishment? Because you always don't need bigger things to boost that dopamine in your brain. Pat your bell back when you're able to do things well. One fine day, there were few students in my class who said, "Ma'am, the topic was very difficult. You taught everything in English, and there were few things which were really unclear. In our department, the medium of teaching is strictly English. So they said, "Ma'am, there is some chunk of it which we do not understand, which is absolutely unclear to us. And can you please tell this to us in Marathi?" I said, "Okay." We all sat together. It was a very, very complicated portion. And in psychology, the thing is there are a lot of concepts for which you do not have good books in Marathi. Being the paper coming from Germans and Americans and everyone there were not many books. The whole thing finished. After the exam happened, this student of mine, he came back and told me, "Ma'am, this one answer that you have taught me that day, I think I'll never ever forget it for my entire life. It was so simple, it was so easy. I could write it in English and I was able to accomplish it absolutely well." This is accomplishment. I actually patted my back that day. Okay, I could work well as a teacher. One day I can be a good mother. One day I can be a good teacher. One day I can be something good. So you don't have to have bigger agendas in life always. I'm not saying that you should not have bigger goals. You should always have bigger goals. But then don't forget to pat your backs when you have those small things done. खुद को मोटिवेट करना मत भूलिए, क्योंकि बड़े बड़े इंसिडेंसेस शायद 1 2 4 5 10 होंगे, 15 20 40 होंगे. हर दिन क्या करेगा हमें मोटिवेट? The small little movements and small little accomplishments. You decide what makes you happy. You decide what people around you makes happy, what makes them happy, and then decide for your accomplishments. That's important. And before everything, whenever there are challenging times, tell yourself that there's nothing in the nature that blooms all year long. कोई भी पेड़ पे पूरे 12 महीने ना फल लगते हैं ना फूल लगते हैं. There are times when there is fall. So don't expect yourself to do so either. You cannot always be happy, always be functional. There will be difficult times. There will be challenging times. Remember what is good in you. Remember what best you can do with the situation. Focus on that and then go ahead. And at times, it is okay to not to be okay. You can make mistakes. You can have bad days. You will be less perfect on a few days. You can always decide what's best for you and just be yourself, because you are good, you're capable, you're worthy, you're pulling so many things through. Do not compare yourself with others. Only have one comparison, the comparison with yourself. That is utmost important. So thank you so much. I've kept this last 25 minutes for all the question answers, if there are any. So if there are any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear
Thanks,
participants,
sir.
the session is open for discussion. You can ask ma'am question in any language, Marathi, English or Hindi. She will answer you.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Ma'am, only thinking positive, does it mean that never to think dark side of the situation?
Very good question. Pratibha ma'am, I think you asked.
Yes,
I think
yes.
no, absolutely not. And that's what I've been saying. When I say be positive, I only mean see in a positive manner. I said before also, there will be bad days, there will be challenging times, there will be times where you'll be low, you'll be feeling bad, when you are not so good, you may fight, you may argue, or you are not so good. All these things are going to happen, and it will happen. We are human beings. But all I'm trying to say at that time is, will you gain something by constantly telling yourself you're pathetic, you're useless, you can't do it, you're worst, you're foul, or somebody is bad, somebody is useless? Can something come out of it? No. So validate that yes, probably I'm not in a good mood, I'm not able to do this, I'm angry, I'm jealous, I'm frustrated, I'm irritated, I'm not good. Accept that, but then move ahead. Also tell yourself that today I may not be good, but there are times when I do better, so that you come out of it. I hope I've
But
answered.
we are always worried about that dark side only.
Sorry.
But we are always
Ma'am,
thinking
you can
about
ask your question. Repeat.
Yes. You're
Okay.
absolute. That's what I said, Pratibha ma'am. And all these techniques that I mentioned are for the same reason. You know, this is what happens when we are under stress, when we are with problem. This is how we think and experience. We constantly only focus on the negative. But then if there are negative side, there are positives also. Once you start focusing on the positive, your brain becomes clear. Your brain is little comparatively stress free. And then also I feel, when still after everything, if the challenges are very hard, you're not able to deal with it, please ask for professional help. There is no problem at all. If there is a stomach ache for 4 days and you're not able to come out of the solution, we all go to a doctor. So if there are difficult and challenging things you're not able to solve, you don't have to directly go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. You can also talk to a counselor. It helps. So wherever you feel that you're not able to come out with it, please ask for professional help also. I hope I have answered, Pratibha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Mayur asked your.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, you are audible.
It's a life. Okay. I mean, what is my perspective? I will tell you.
Yeah.
Every time there will be not a good time. Okay. Some bad times, some fears or some anxiety, some tensions will be there. I think we should deal with. We should learn how to deal with that. Means, if the bad time is there, we should keep calm, and whenever the time will be there in the favor of us, we should explore ourselves, and we should achieve what we want. And whenever the situation is bad, we should keep calm and learn something to how to deal with that. Is it okay, or I should have to use some another things?
Absolutely, absolutely. So there will be challenging times. Life cannot always go 100% smooth and everything. And how do we deal with them? You know, staying calm, yes, but then also constantly reminding yourself of what good you have, being compassionate to yourself in those times, keeping your brain occupied in some positive aspects is the thing which is going to help you come out of those stressful situations.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes, Amol sir, please ask your question. Amol Deshmukh.
Anybody else, Abhijit sir?
Nobody has raised the hand.
Okay, so
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible, Amol.
I am in a mental stress now because of my brother is passed away due to corona, and for some reason, some people told me that time is a solution. So, how to cope with this?
Okay, Amol sir, first of all, I'm really sorry. It's very hurtful to hear about your loss, and this is a very, very challenging situation. I think bereavement, losing a loved one, very close one, it's a very, very challenging time. Also, the best way to deal with this is talk about your brother often. You know, we are always being told something bad has happened, don't talk, don't discuss this much, don't talk about these bad memories again and again. I think talk about your brother, talk about good things, the good times that you have shared, the good memories you have, the nice part of it. And once you talk about it, once you discuss, once you speak, you free your heart from it. You know, that acceptance and that everything will come when you acknowledge it, when you put time to it. So this is very, very important. And then next important thing is, if at all after a point you feel that you're just not able to deal with it, not able to solve that problem, please talk to a counselor. Trust me, you know, we take so much of this as granted that we never want to do. So there are times when you really want to invest, when you really have to invest hardly a week of counseling, discussing with someone who is non-judgmental, who's just there to hear, talk about that. It is also important. But as a first step, initially, if it is happening, the first thing is talk about it, talk to your family members about it. You all can sit together, share the good memories that you all have experienced, so that it will come to resort and it will come to validation, which is very much important. It will give you that strength to deal with that situation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Because sometimes people say just be as it is. Time is the solution for everything. Like that's why I just
Yes,
share
and
my.
you're very right, sir. And people ask you to just block that, you know. Okay, involve yourself, get busy, go to office, put yourself in that, and everything will be fine. No, it is our bond. Even if you come to office, it is gonna stay in your mind. So, and people say, बार बार उस चीज के परत परत त्याबद्दलच बोलू नका, ह्याच विषयावर परत परत बोलू नका, तेच आपण परत परत बोललो की त्याच मनस्थितीत राहतो आपण. It's not like that. Talk about it, but yes, talk about the good part. So you will remember. We don't want to forget him, right? You never want to forget your brother, but all we want is to remember him in a happy thing, in a happy memory. So once you start doing it in that manner, it will really, really help, sir.
Okay, madam. Thank you so much, madam.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. Anybody else?
हॅलो मॅडम.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
मी मराठीत बोलू?
Oh, please, please बोला, आरामात बोला.
मी असोसिएट प्रोफेसर आहे पारनेर कॉलेज आणि अबाव 50 एज 54 आणि मी जेव्हा सर्व्हिस आणि घर सांभाळताना शांत स्वभाव होता, पण नवडेज म्हणजे मला आता खूप चिडचिड होते आणि थोड्या थोड्या गोष्टीवरून हायपर म्हणजे चिडते मी. तर मला ह्याच्यावर काही मेडिटेशन वगैरे काही आहे का असं सोल्युशन, की मला स्वतःवर राग कंट्रोल करता येईल असं? आणि झालंय काय की आपण सगळं सांभाळलं म्हणजे कॉलेज पण आणि घर पण, तारेवरची कसरत केली. आता अनबेअरेबल होतं थोडं. म्हणजे आता सगळं व्यवस्थित आहे, पण चिडचिडा स्वभाव वाढला.
मॅम तुमचं नाव परत सांगताय का मला प्लीज एकदा?
विजया ढवळे.
हा, विजया मॅडम, तुम्ही खूप खूप महत्वाचा प्रश्न विचारला हा. आणि तुम्ही सगळ्या डिटेल्स एवढ्या चांगल्या प्रमाणे दिले. बघा मॅम, काय होतं ना, तुम्ही जे बोललात ते पण सुरुवातीत बोललो. काय होतं ना, स्पेशली बायकांच्या बाबतीत काय होतं, घर, फॅमिली, जॉब हे सगळं सांभाळण्यात स्वतःच्याकडे एकदम दुर्लक्ष होतं. आपण स्वतःकडे बघतच नाही. आणि त्या याने काय होतं ना, एक थोडासा कसं दुसरं 45 नंतर आपली हॉर्मोनल सायकल मॅसिव्हली बदलत असते. मॅसिव्हली. बिकॉज बॉडी इज प्रिपेअरिंग इटसेल्फ फॉर द मेनोपॉज. तर खूप खूप बॉडीमध्ये चेंजेस होत असतात ह्या एक सगळ्या फेजमध्ये. आणि दुसरं काय होतं ना, माणूस इमोशनली दमतो सगळं मॅनेज करून 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 करून. एक वेळ अशी येते की आता बॉडीमध्ये आणि ब्रेनमध्ये ताकदच नाही अडॅप्ट करायची किंवा बदलून घ्यायची किंवा सहन करायची. आणि त्यामुळे हा सगळा ताण वाढतो. तर त्या सगळ्यात सोपा मार्ग याच्यातला, मॅम मी जी म्हणाले ना, हे खूप ऐकताना आपल्याला खूप सरळ आणि सहज एकदम असं छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टी वाटत असतील, पण खरंच तुम्ही एकदा त्या सगळ्याला प्रयत्न तरी करा. पहिलंच आपण कंपॅशन बद्दल बोललो.
बरोबर.
काय होतं ना, आपण स्वतःला असं हे मला होत नाहीये, माझी चिडचिडच होतीये, माझ्याकडनं होत नाहीये, तो स्वतःला हे वेळ देणे की काही हरकत नाही, कधीतरी चिडचिड झाली, कधीतरी, मग ती चिडचिड कशावरनं होतीये हे लक्षात आणणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. असं आहे का कोणी ऐकत नाही ते होतीये, किंवा मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेसमध्ये काय होतं ना, काम खूप जास्ती आणि आता ते झेपत नाहीये, त्यांनी होतीये का? मग मला एखादं लाईन ड्रॉ करावं लागेल की ह्याच्या पुढे मी हे काम नाही करू शकत, मग ह्याचा इतर काहीतरी मला मार्ग शोधावा लागेल. काम डिवाइड करावं लागेल. प्रत्येक दिवशी मी किती करू शकते ह्याचा अंदाज घ्यावा लागेल. चक्क पेन पेपर पेन्सिल घेऊन तुम्ही केलं ना तरीही चालेल हे. पण तो हिशोब मला ते काम परवडतंय का माझ्या शरीराला, माझ्या माइंडला, होतंय का माझ्याच्यानी? आधी मी 20 वर्ष, ती 30 वर्षाची असताना ते करत होते, ती मी आता नाही करू शकत देखील, ते नाही होणार. मग हे एक्सेप्टन्स खूप गरजेचं आहे. दुसरं, तुम्ही जसं म्हणाला मेडिटेशन, येस, माइंडफुलनेस म्हणाले मी, त्याच्यातच मेडिटेशन करणे. युट्यूबवर 100 आयडियाज आहेत मेडिटेशनचे. आणि काही मेडिटेशन म्हणजे मोठा रॉकेट सायन्स काही करायची गरज नाहीये. फक्त एखादा चांगला म्युझिक किंवा एक गाइडेड इन्स्ट्रक्शन, गाइडेड मेडिटेशन, ज्याच्यात ते गाईडच करतील तुम्हाला. मराठीत खूप सुंदर सुंदर मेडिटेशन आहेत. मग एखादा असा मेडिटेशन काहीतरी ज्याच्यात तुम्हाला सगळं सांगतील कसं कसं बॉडीला रिलॅक्स करत जायचं, डीप ब्रीथिंग करायची. फक्त 15 मिनिटं स्वतःसाठी तुम्ही ते काढा, तुम्हाला खूप फरक वाटणार. आणि एक नक्कीच करा मॅडम, तुम्हाला जे मनापासून आवडतं, एखादा छंद, एखादी हॉबी, एखादं काहीतरी, सगळ्या जगासाठी वेळ काढता. कमीत कमी आठवड्यातून 2दा तुम्ही तो वेळ फक्त तुमच्यासाठी काढा. जिथे तुम्हाला जे आनंद देणार आहे ते तुम्ही कराल.
मॅडम बरोबर आहे. मी मॅडम सर्व्हिस करताना हे केलंय सगळं, एम.फिल, बी.एड किंवा आता मी 31 डिसेंबर 2020ला पी.एच.डी कंप्लीट केलं. आणि पूर्वीचे असं वाटायचं, म्हणजे तुम्ही म्हणता ते बरोबर आहे, की असं चिडचिड कशामुळे होते, की आपल्याला काम हे नाही होत, म्हणजे दोन्ही आपण मॅनेज करतो, घरातलं आणि कॉलेजचं. तर असं वाटतंय आपल्याला नाही मॅनेज होत आणि आपल्याला कोणी मदत करत नाही. आणि त्याच्यामुळे आपण पटकन घरातल्या माणसावर चिडतो. बाहेर कॉलेजमध्ये आपण आपलं व्यवस्थित हे करतो, पण घरी चिडचिड होते माझी.
बिलकुल बिलकुल. तर बघा ना, हे तुम्हाला माहितीच आहे काय होतंय. तर आता ह्याला कळणं म्हणजे काय, स्वतःला थोडंसं हे सांगणं की ते जे आहे ते इथे घरच्या एन्व्हायरमेंटचा आपल्या ह्याच्यावर इम्पॅक्ट होऊ नये, त्यासाठी काय करायचं, फक्त स्वतःला अक्नॉलेज करायचं की हे जे ऑफिसमध्ये होतंय सगळं, हे मला कदाचित काही कधी झेपत नाही किंवा जास्ती होतंय, हे मला जमत नाहीये, त्यामुळे माझी चिडचिड होतीये. मग मी त्याला तिथे कसं डील करू शकते, त्याचा एखादा मार्ग आहे का, त्याच्यात मी कमी काय करू शकते, सांगू शकते का कुठे काहीतरी कमी करायचं, किंवा आठवड्याभराचा प्लॅन जर मी आधी केला तर असं होऊ शकतं का ते काम माझ्यावर एकदम खूप जास्ती येणार नाही आणि होणार नाही. आणि मग घरच्यांना फक्त सांगायचं की कधी आई चिडले किंवा कसं झालं तर पटकन त्यांना ते सॉरी म्हणायची तयारी ठेवायची. आणि म्हणजे ते गिल्ट होणार नाही आणि हा सतत ते त्यांच्यावर राग काढणं बरं नाहीये. तर तुम्ही मेडिटेशन, एक्सेप्टन्स, जरासं थॉट प्रोसेसिंग चेंज करणं जे आपण आता बोललो हे केलं तर नक्कीच त्याचा फायदा होईल. आणि त्याशिवाय त्रास होत असेल मी परत परत सांगेन, प्लीज काउन्सिलर कडे जा. आपल्याला कंटिन्युअस जर एखादं हे त्रास होत असेल पण जेव्हा त्याच्यासाठी जास्ती विचार करत नाही ह्यासाठी विचार करू नका.
ओके.
ओके,
थँक्यू.
वेलकम वेलकम.
मॅम
स्टॉप हिअर देन.
आमचे एक नॉन टीचिंगचे आहेत, त्यांनी तुमचं ऐकलंय सकाळपासून आणि त्यांना एक प्रश्न आहे तो विचारू इच्छित. एक मिनिट.
प्लीज 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 प्लीज.
हॅलो मॅडम, गुड आफ्टरनून मॅडम.
गुड आफ्टरनून.
हॅलो.
हा सर, ऐकू येतंय मला.
हा मॅडम, गुड आफ्टरनून.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर.
हा मॅडम, माझं नाव अमर आहे, मी नॉन टीचिंग मध्ये काम करतो मॅडम.
अच्छा सर.
हा मॅडम, कसं आहे, जवळची व्यक्ती आहे आमची, जवळची म्हणजे आमची मिसेस आहे एक. हॅलो.
बोलतो
हा
मॅडम.
हा मॅडम, कसं आहे, छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टीला कसं आहे मॅडम, ते म्हणजे मी चिडचिडतो त्याच्यावर खूप चिडतो मॅडम. कॉलेजमध्ये काय मी फ्री राहतो पण घरी जायचं मन होत नाही मॅडम, कारण की तिचं बोलण्याहून कसं आहे मला छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टीचं खूप टेन्शन येतं मॅडम. तसं हायपर होतो मी एकदम, खूप लवकर मला चिडचिडपणा येतोय. आणि वय माझं 28 आहे मॅडम सध्या.
अच्छा, पण तुम्हाला थोडा अंदाज येतो कशावरनं चिडचिड होते किंवा काय असं स्पेसिफिक असेल ज्यावर चिडचिड होते असं काही आहे का?
हा मॅडम, कसं आहे, म्हणजे मनाविरुद्ध काही गोष्टी घडत गेल्या की त्याच्यामुळे मला खूप चिडचिडपणा येतो मॅडम. जास्त म्हणजे टीव्हीचा आवाज घेणं, जास्त मोठ्यानं ओरडणं, बोलणं. म्हणजे ही गोष्ट नको करू म्हणले की तिने ती गोष्ट की मग राग जास्त येतो. मग आणि तिला शांत बस म्हणजे बोलू नको जास्त, म्हणजे ती अजून तिला बी राग येतो, रागाच्या बोलण्यात भांडण होतात. त्याच्यामुळे कसं आहे, आता कॉलेजमध्ये जायचं म्हणलं की घरी जायचं मन करत नाही मॅडम. होत्या तेवढं कॉलेजमध्ये किंवा बाहेर मित्रासोबत वेळ घालवतो, घरी गेली की मग संध्याकाळी त्या गोष्टीनं झोप येत नाही मॅडम. रात्री म्हणजे कसं डोक्याला ताण येतो. काही गोष्टी माझ्या मनाला लागल्या ना, ती गोष्ट डोक्यातून म्हणजे 2-3 महिने जातच नाहीये. असं त्या माणसाला भेटलं ना, ती गोष्टी आठवून राग येतो.
सर, आपण काय करू, तुम्ही जे सगळं म्हणाला, मी तुम्हाला जे टिप्स दिले ते तुम्ही करू शकता, पण मला त्याशिवाय थोडंसं कसं वाटतं, पण आणखीन थोड्या गोष्टी तुम्हाला विचाराव्या लागतील. पण हे इथे नको विचारायला, तुम्ही सरांकडनं माझा नंबर घ्या आणि आपण बोलू यावर. अभिजित सरांकडे माझा नंबर आहे, तुम्ही त्यांच्याकडे नंबर घ्या, आपण यावर बोलू.
शुअर मॅम, शुअर. Thank you, ma'am. If there are no questions, I would like to ask my colleague, Associate Professor of English, Dr. Sachin Bhandare, sir, to propose vote of thanks.
Yes, thank you, sir. Am I audible, Abhijit, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Yes, sir. So, good afternoon, dear participants. Really, the lecture was full of what we can say psychological well-being, and we have a very deep sense of gratitude and appreciation to the resource person for this session, Dr. Juhi Deshmukh Madam from Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Ma'am, really, you have explored the ideas of psychological cognizance of psychology, and you have advised us about validating our emotions, being thankful to what we have, self-compassion and compassion to others, self-kindness, coping the situations effectively, resilience. And by doing all these things, I must say, madam, that in a sense you have vaccinated us for psychological well-being. Thank you very much, ma'am. Ma'am, you have spent a very special time with all of us from your busy schedule and given us a very thought-provoking speech. Ma'am, we are very much inspired and feel relaxed by your thoughts and ideas. We are thankful for your special endeavor taken for this session. A special thank goes to Chief Organizer of this workshop, Honorable Principal Dr. Mahadev Ghavane sir, for motivation and kind support. We are very much grateful to Vice Principals Dr. A.J. Raju, Professor S.M. Shinde, Dr. Renuka Londe, and Professor D.G. Palke for their special presence. We extend our thanks to all the committee members for their work, for their good teamwork, especially Dr. Dayanand Rajesh sir, Mr. Swapnil, and Mr. Mahesh sir. We are very much grateful to coordinator of this faculty development program, Dr. Abhijit Yadav sir, for creating this opportunity for we all participants. Finally, a big thank to all the participants, research scholars, and delegates to make this event successful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sachin sir. That was really overwhelming. Thank you so much for such a beautiful word of thanks. Thank you, Abhijit sir, for always keeping me in loop in all these lovely programs. Thank you.
Yes.
I really feel happy sitting in Pune. I can connect with all of you. And
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, it is always a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.